Well, that was a night. That was a night that happened for better or worse, I guess. Ah. I did not have the fantasy night that I wanted. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me for the after show. Let me fade the music out. There we go. Yeah, I mean, but hey, it was good racing, right? Who was 250 FFL? Vial got it. Vial got it. I hate stars so much. Runkles, why the hate? I ended up with, I don't even know, 199, 200. I was right around 200. But hey, what I keep telling myself is you win championships on the bad days. And this was one of my bad days. Hill did not DNF, and I will give points out to him. He did not score any more points than when he got off the track, but he did stay out and do the laps, and that is worth something, even if he was just rolling around. I don't know if he was hurt, if it was a mechanical, or his bars were twisted or whatever, but Justin Hill stayed out, did the laps, didn't give me any more points, but I appreciate you anyway, Justin. I see you. Thank you for that. I passed on Deegan because I didn't want to, and I passed on Cooper because I did not want a team full of rookies. So that's what I get, I guess. And it happens. Every now and then there's going to be one of those nights where all the guys that are a flight risk put it together, and tonight was one of those nights, and I did not cash in on it, but I hope you guys did. Didn't have the night you wanted either. Pretty sure I lost the points lead in the championships. Like, oh, Dirt Shark, that's the worst. Deegan hype is real. Yeah, hey, you know what? I'm happy to see it. I really am. I'm not going to run to the hills and say, wow, Deegan's the next big thing or anything like that yet. I'm not there yet. I honestly was more impressed by Tom Vial. No offense to Deegan, but Tom looked great and he made a silly little mistake and that cost him. But, man, I mean, great riding. I was disappointed in Thrasher. I know he wrecked twice, and I don't say that's out of his control, but you know what I mean? Like, stuff happens, but I was more, Mosman, just quiet all night. Wasn't great in qualifying, didn't have a good heat race, got a bad start in the main, and just didn't really do anything. I know he ended up like 5th or 6th, but for a guy that people were, like, the poll that I ran, I think it was like a 50% click of Mosman being Hunter's biggest threat, and it definitely doesn't look that way now. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Tom Vial was, yeah, no, I agree. What happened? So Ferrandis crashed at the end. They put a replay on it, but it wasn't very clear. JT in one of the group texts said it was bad. He was out for a few minutes. But it looked like he just wrecked at the end of the, I can't find the text now. Wrecked at the end of the whoop section, unfortunately. So that's it. I'm gonna take a shot every time someone says Deegan. Well, yeah. Well, good luck. I'll see you on the other side of death at this point. I did not see Barsh's crash, Andre. No, was that in the main? Deegan is the real deal, and of course the best of the best. Oh, I thought you meant he was now. And like, let's be honest, nobody's surprised, right? Can we all just say right now that nobody's surprised that Deegan is as good as advertised? Nobody doubted that he was going to have the speed. I think the thing is going to be, is he going to be ready to get it up? You know what I mean? Your audio is statched. I don't know what that means. Let me know what that means. I didn't think he was going to come and get 5th, but with that being said, he did get a little bit of help. Obviously, the field is very thin. A lot of guys that should have been better had rough go of things and whatever. I fully expected him to get, like, if he got 7th or 8th, I would have been like, okay, sure. And he got 4th, and that's really incredible. So props to him for staying out of trouble. That's what he needs to do on his debut, and he did it. So good for the kid, Dylan didn't move for like 5 minutes. Yeah, that's what it said. That's what, like, and obviously I don't want to get into it because I don't want to share group text things, especially about injuries, because that's not until Dylan makes his own statement. But yeah, the report from the floor was not good, is what I'm saying, is that it was not good. You know what I mean? Have a drink every time RC says AC riding around in 10. No, Ryan, no. I got blasted on Twitter. I said that last week. I said, hey, I'm tired of them saying AC's just out here rebuilding his career. And I got a lot of pushback on that. So I'm not gonna touch that one anymore. Not for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, Dylan was walking. That's good at least. Drew, good point. Dylan got up and walked out on his own power. He did have a neck brace on, but the fact that he got up and walked out is key. I just hope that he's okay. Like, he's not somebody that I like particularly root for or anything. There's nothing, he's a nice enough guy, but don't want to see anybody, especially a competitor like him, to be missing, you know what I mean, for any amount of rounds. So it is what it is. Jay Cooper will probably race the whole season now. That's true, Andre. That's true. Yeah, Ferrandis is out. Then why not throw Cooper in there, especially if he's going to come out? And what did he end up? Did he end up? I guess I can pull up the results page. He ended up 7th, I believe. There we go. We got official results already. So official results from both mains. So it looks like there's not going to be any penalties or any tomfoolery. 7th. Yep, 7th. He got Kenny for 7th. Herb said, Chase didn't blow it. Tomac is just a different beast. Yeah, I mean, that was a statement ride. That was a statement ride. Like, I don't think Chase blew it. I saw a lot of people critiquing, like, hey, he needed to go to the outside of the stand. That inside section wasn't working. But I think if nothing else, and maybe I'm just spinning this for my own whatever, but Chase knows he cannot win the title in week 4. Changing his line there, sure, maybe he gets Tomac, but if he's comfortable doing that inside line, then he's comfortable doing that inside line. Be comfortable, do the laps, take the second when you can. Just take the second. Because again, Ricky always says you win on your bad nights. So keep your bad nights. If a second is your bad night, good for you. You know what I mean? Chase is clearly the future. I love Tomac though, and I want him to finish winner. That's fair. That's fair. Tell us about the RMZ. Becca, what do you want to know about the RMZ? Dutch said when whoops break down, Chase lost his edge. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, he definitely looked a lot better in the heat race versus Eli than in the main, but a good race for both of them. You know what I mean? Isn't it weird that Eli, at this point in his career, and is this a testament to just how good that Star Racing bike is, not to take anything away from Tomac, but is it weird that Eli has become the beast mode Eli that we've always wanted to see, and we got it so late in his career? Like, it's not like it wasn't there at times, but this is the dominant Eli that we always kind of wanted, that we always expected. And I don't know, man. It's just I just wonder how things could have been different if Eli would have been able to do this starting in 2017. You know what I mean? Eli is the New Testament. Brian, I'm in. I'll buy that. Yeah, so Craig crashed at the start. He was dead last on like lap 2 or 3. The restart definitely helped him a ton. It really did. And he passed up the 15th on that first lap back. But I will say, I don't want to say I hit the panic button on Craig, but we are now four rounds in. I think it's time to finally kind of start doing that kind of panic button type thing. And I don't mean like panic button as in Craig needs to be dropped or Rockstar needs to cut him or blah, blah, blah. But is it time to just accept that Craig is going to be a 10 to 12 place guy forever? I was hoping that he was going to improve and have that ride and whatever, but like, he's not getting the starts. He hasn't had a single start this year, and that's like one of his big things. And he just didn't do it. And again, he caught up, he passed Dean, but he had nothing for that next group. He had nothing on Sabachi, AC, and Justin Cooper right in front of him. And I was like, oh, he's definitely going to catch Cooper. He's definitely going to catch Cooper. And he just didn't. He just didn't. So it was a real big bummer. Sorry, chat's moving a little fast here. Michael said Craig had a better ride tonight after the restart. He did for sure. But I just want to see him push later into the mains than he is. No Control said, if Ants can go from 10th to 2nd dropping down, why expect Craig to rise? I guess I don't know. I just was hopeful. I was hopeful that he was going to be able to do more. I wasn't expecting it. I was hopeful, you know. Dutch said, even with the start, Craig's not top. Well, he's not Dutch, and that's the thing, is that, like, I don't think he's going to be top 5. I just was expecting him to be able to compete with the AC we have right now, and there's no shame in AC being where he is, but I just kind of expected to see if AC is just kind of letting guys by. I figured Craig would beat him one of these nights, and so far he hasn't beat him in a single race, so real big bummer there. AP was not robbed. No, AP, like obviously was it a bummer that AP the restart really killed AP's momentum, sure, but I don't, with all due respect to Aaron, because he's a fabulous man and an even better rider, but I don't see him holding off Sexton and Anderson for 20 minutes. You know, props on him for holding off Cooper, though. That's big. That's big. Big on him for sure. Ben said, dude faceplanting into the tunnel was Craig. Oh, in the 450. I was like, that was shock, but yeah. Doug said Craig got 5th in 450 MX. That's what I'm saying, Doug. I thought that he was going to do more than this, and you know, and we've had, and I count the Triple Crowns. I don't know about you guys, but I do this for my fantasy stats. I count each Triple Crown as its own race. Even in the Triple Crowns, I expected Craig to do better, and he just hasn't. Max said, what was up with everyone's gear tonight? Seems like they all wore what the others have already. To be fair, that's not fair. That's not fair. Last week the gear was sick. It was hard to compete with last week with all of the Ken Block and the Jets Antisocial Social Club. Like, you can't really compete with that. So no shame there. Brody said, I only had Anderson and Ferrandis for 450s. 250 carried me to get all 4 riders. 145. That hurts. I ended up with 199, I believe. Once the results are refreshed, I'll check. But just wasn't a good night for me. I had 8 in the main, and I played it safe, and I played it too safe. I missed all the points from Cooper. I missed all the points from Deegan. Like I said earlier, I just didn't want a team full of rookies. And of the 3 rookies that I was interested in, I thought Hymas had the best chance to just do the laps. And so we did the laps. Yo, Dr. JB, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Craig Star 250. That is a fact. That is, but with that being said, Jay, do you think that Malcolm is that much better than Craig? That's an interesting thing. Let's talk about it. If Craig is an 11th place guy, even in qualifying, Malcolm is a guy that's qualifying 1, winning heat races, leading mains. Like, is the gap between Craig and Malcolm that big? I know it's weird to talk about Malcolm in a race they didn't ride, but I think it's at least worth talking about. Malcolm is that much better right now. All right, Dirty Al, I'll take it. Joey said Craig is just in a division with pretty much all the champions. Yeah, it's a tough place right now. It's a tough place to make your 450 debut. But this goes for Cooper too, like any of these guys, Colt Nichols. When you have that many guys that are riding, with all due respect, past their prime, like a lot of guys right here are would have retired in earlier years, et cetera, and they're not. They're continuing to do it. So it is what it is. Copper Nichols. Copper Nichols. It's a good name, like that. Lawrence Battle will be sick. Jacob, yeah. It sucks. Does anybody else kind of hate that the last 2 years, this year and last year both, the first East-West Showdown isn't until like the 14th round? Why even have 2 if you're going to have them so late in the year? I'd rather have one around Daytona and then another at the end of the year. Having them so close together, I don't know, like it almost just takes the fun out of it, because it's almost just like a preseason game and then the Super Bowl right after it or whatever. William said Craig is older than most. Yeah, he is. Hey, how do we feel about Kyle Chisholm's move in the LCQ. I just said, bro, what are you doing? And I had a lot of weird responses. The people that don't understand how Twitter works and think that everything needs to be explained. My problem with Chiz's move isn't that he did the move, because I didn't have any dog in the fight. It's if you're going to T-bone a guy and take him out of the LCQ or him out of the main, you better take that spot. If you T-bone somebody and you fail to make the main, like, dude, you deserve just a straight right in the pits. Like, that's not how it goes, man. I would be furious. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody took me out and they themselves didn't even do it, you gotta execute. And somebody like Chiz is a veteran. Like, you got these kids doing it, whatever. But like, Chiz he needed to make it happen. And he did it. And a lot of people were saying, like, oh, but the Kickstarter, like, there's no guarantee he makes that even with an electric start. He still stalled it. He would still have to get it in neutral, still be able to get it started. I don't think, did the Kickstarter save or cost him? Maybe. But you know what cost him is him not being able to execute that move. You know what I mean? Drew, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Come on, anyone would have done what Chisholm done. But you're right. No, I'm not saying don't take him out. But if you're gonna take somebody out, you gotta get that spot. You gotta have it. You know what I mean? So, is what it is. Andre said Haley Deegan got on the podium before Hayden. Yeah, you're right. You're right. To be fair, she had a couple years head start. You know what I mean? He should have ran the bike up. Yeah, Joey, take a page out of Chad Reed's book. Rob said Talon Hawkins had a solid showing in 11th. I know, and he got a great start, and he rode up there well. If nothing else, with the East being thin, because we lost Moto, we lost Hammaker, we lost a lot of good guys, at least that's giving the rookies time to shine and being able to let them get into, like, get in the mix more with those top guys rather than being, like, afterthoughts in the back of the pack. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Is there a video of Dylan eating it? Space Cadet, yeah, they played it on the broadcast. It wasn't in focus. It was, they pointed out, but they were following, Tomac, Sexton, or Anderson, and you can see him in the background go down. So, like, not clearly, but it already exists. T said, I missed it. Yeah, Vial got it. How about Savachi? How about him? He's about where I expect him to be for Savachi. I already answered. You can't keep asking it if I already answered. How do we not have footage of the whole track yet? Max, I don't even want to talk about the footage available. Bummer that J-Mart fell late. What position did he end up even getting? 5th, because when he was running around in 4th, or in 3rd, I was like, how sick would it have been for the club, the guy that Star dropped, to beat both of the Star guys in this class? All 3 of them, really, because he beat Thrasher, too. I thought that would have been really cool. Bummer that J-Mar didn't pull that off. That would have been a neat one. Honda should have signed Savachi. Dylan, no, I think the problem is, the problem isn't Honda should have signed Savachi. It's, does Savachi want to do just Supercross? Because Honda is clearly committed to Jet Lawrence for outdoors on the 450 class. So you got to remember that it's not all the team didn't want the rider. Sometimes the riders don't want the deal. And I think that happens a lot. Like, case in point, HEP Suzuki wanted Savachi. Savachi said, I don't want to ride that bike, or whatever it may be. So yeah, it might not even been on the table. Savachi might have been like, I'm done being a one season fill-in kind of guy. You know what I mean? Dylan said, but why sign Colt? Because Colt had no ride at all. Colt's only option was this Supercross only deal with HRC or True Blue Privateer. So Colt would rather take that deal. Savachi was saying, I'm done being the fill-in guy. So Brody said Thrasher crashed earlier on the main, but didn't show. I know. I saw him move down. Does anybody else? So I don't have the answer to this. Maybe we can ask Clinton Fowler. They always say that the announcers are supposed to talk about what's on the screen. Does that include the running order on the side? Because it frustrates me so much when you have somebody like, I think it was Thrasher because he was running in the top few, and you just see him go, and he's just dropping in chunks. And I'm like, how do the announcers not see that? Because I know that's not on picture, but that's on screen. You should know. You should see that guy dropping and at least point out to somebody and be like, hey, looks like Thrasher might have fallen. You know, like, let's maybe get a camera on it. I don't know. They missed up, feet up. It's so frustrating. I can't even begin to think about what it's like to do what they do. I know that I do this with you guys, and I feel like I'm pretty adept at like keeping up with all of these distractions and chat and everything and doing it all at once. But like being, you know, you just put you in the booth, sink or swim. I can't. I would like to think I can do better, but I probably am not going to do any better than those guys. You know what I mean? Herb said, Sexton realizes that it's impossible to beat Tomac. That's not true. That's not true. I agree, though, with you, Herb, that he made a statement. He needed to respond, and he did, especially in the main event. Sexton pressured him for a few laps. I think Sexton wore himself out trying to put all that pressure on. But again, I would like to think that Sexton is we're seeing this growth with Sexton, that he realizes that he is now a championship guy. He does not need to win this race. It is round 4. He is fine. He can take this second and fight another day. If he can't get it done tonight, you don't want to do what Tomac did last week and push yourself too hard and then end up cartwheeling into the tough block and ending up 13th. He doesn't need that. So I would like to think that's it, but also I'm putting words in his mouth, so I don't know. You know what I mean? Doug said the production and direction of the races has fallen in the last few years. MX's knack was following what was going on through the pack. Yeah, and it just sucks because hey Ron Dog, take care. We don't know. Like, a lot of people can criticize Lee Diffie, they criticize RC or Blair or whatever. There's so many people in that industry that are working together. There's so many moving parts that you never know who or why they are doing it with something the way they're doing it. So I try not to put too much blame on any one person, because maybe Emig was allowed to do that. Maybe they specifically don't want RC to do that or whatever. But I think Emig was my favorite guy in the booth, at least since like the David Bailey, Art Ekman days. Dan, there are. So Dan said there has to be somebody on the broadcast crew that monitors the riders that are not on screen. So Dan, interesting you say that. Jason Thomas used to be a spotter often. So the few times that I got to go up in the press booth, JT was the spotter. So you're literally just watching. You're just watching the race, and you're telling the TV guys like, hey, let's get a camera on so and so, blah 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 blah. So I don't know who's doing that now, but I know they pull media guys often to do that. So Shane said, I saw Sexton make 2 mistakes in a row, and I think he backed it down. Yeah, and he was definitely, because there for a while he was gaining in the whoops, but he had a couple spots in the whoops that he definitely lost his edge a little bit and definitely backed it down. And that's a good idea. Yeah, the Pulp website is down for everybody looking. There's a techno issue with the processing, so it'll be just a few. We'll get it back soon. Brian said Tomac just solidified the beast mode thing. That sand was the difference. Yep. And again, just like the sand comment from earlier, you know, should Sexton have gone out wide because that was the faster line? Yeah, maybe. But if he was comfortable in the center or in the inside and he thought he could make that work, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for doing it. You know what I mean? Herb said Sexton didn't back down. He was full send the entire race. Eli just got better the longer the race is. Well, but Herb, I just think that near the end, I think Sexton kind of accepted his fate. That I think it's a better idea that far into the race for Sexton to back it down just like 2%, you know, just like to 98 and stay close enough that if Eli does have an issue, he'll be there to capitalize on it. But running directly behind him for 20 minutes isn't really gonna, you know, whatever. What happened to AJ? L Racer? No. I'm judging by the way that he went off, and we didn't see a mule, that it was probably a mechanical or just pulling off when you're too far down, but nothing official. Jesse asked, do you think there should be sand? No, I don't think there should be sand because the riders hate it, the mechanics hate it, Dirtworks doesn't like it. Nobody likes it. I just don't know why we have it because nobody likes it. Might not be a super popular opinion, but it's just that it's an obstacle that nobody likes. I will say the only advantage to sand that I can see is sand always slows down the track. If you turn that sand corner into just a flat track style, you know that the laps get cut by 3 seconds. So that's cool, I guess, but still not the best idea, you know. Vic said in Tampa has a long sand section. Yeah. No, Ben. No, there were no Barsha Bam Bams. It was a quiet, honestly, Chiz's LCQ T-bone. I don't even really call it a T-bone. Pass attempt. Let's just call it pass attempt. Was, I think, the worst thing that we saw all night, you know? Joey said sand turns no, but I like the sand rollers like to tune. I agree. And Barsha, that's true. Andre said Barsha bammed himself in the whoops. That is true. Dan said sand does not belong on a supercross track. It's as dumb as having an alligator pit. You know what, Dan? No, I think it's worse. Bring me the alligator pit, please. Oh my God, can we get out? Like, why not? Let's just. It's not the weirdest thing we would do with it. How about just a moat over the gator? Yeah, Ben, give me a gator moat. I'm in. Thoughts on Chance's ride? Rylan, I kind of hate that Deegan did so well because I think that Chance Hymas had the exact kind of ride that Chance and the team wanted him to have, where he got a decent start, he got to race with those guys, and he settled in comfortably. And I wish we could be talking about how good Chance did, but he got overshadowed by Deegan, and Deegan earned that. He beat Chance straight up, got a better start, ran better lap times. But Chance, yeah, that was a good ride by him. Same with Hawkins. I mean, even Vial had an incredible ride before he went down. It was just a really good, everybody, Justin Cooper, everybody making their debut, all of the big guys, they all did it, you know? They did it. So good for them. Ronald said Alex Ray, who I like, was given a gift and boom, throws it away. To be fair, that wasn't his fault. He got hit. He was trying to get through that hole, and then was that short? That he hit? No, short got in. So it must have been Freddie. Freddie just moved his bike in front of A-Ray, more or less. So the 250 Co should combine rookies are finishing top 10. Joey, sure. I will, let's give it to you. Let's give it to you, Joey. Let's say you're right. Let's combine the coasts. Do you just want to have, imagine the attrition. We can't keep these guys in one piece for 9 races. You think we're going to keep them in one piece for 17? I think that's the biggest thing that people that want to join the coasts kind of forget, is that if you combine them, then you eliminate half of the rides, and then people are going to just not come. They're not going to be able to train. They're not going to be whatever. They're going to get jobs, like normal blue-collar jobs. But what did we have last year? Craig Hunter Mosman, RJ, Thrasher, Freeze, Blos. We had 7 guys race 9 rounds. 7 people total raced every race that they could in a half race season. If we make it a 17 race championship, like, you'd have 2, maybe 3 tops would make it through the whole season unscathed. And that's just not good, you know what I mean? Brian said piece them back together with screws that are sterile. Yeah, why not? It'll work, right? Saucy Dad said Deegan hasn't lost to Hymas yet in the handful of motos they've raced together, and he's a full year behind him. Cool. That's cool. Moseman's hairstyle let him down. I just want to say, Mosman was the goofiest thing of the night for me. It just wasn't great. He didn't qualify particularly well. I think everybody expected him to come out and be one of the top few, at least in qualifying, and he ended up like 6th. And then his heat race wasn't great. He ended up 4th. He lost to Hymas, and then in the main, he got a mediocre start, and I was like, oh, that's okay. He'll be able to rip right through these guys, and he didn't. Like, he did end up getting 6th. So it's not like he's out of the title, but I know he didn't want to finish 22 seconds back on Hunter with a lap time a full second off to open the season. That's just not good. Unless he's maybe hurt and we just don't know about it. Joey said Deegan is like Lewis Hamilton. He gets to start his career with the best equipment. I mean, sure. So did Thrasher. So, I mean, like, Justin Cooper? Like, a lot of those guys got that same treatment. So, sure, I will give you that, but only if you agree that those other guys had that too. Ross said, how about Roxon getting caught and passed by another Cooper? Yeah, Raw, yeah, that was rough. Kenny just didn't seem to have it all night, unfortunately. So, I don't know what his major malfunction was, but it definitely was not good. Muppet said, what was your favorite part of the race? Man, that's a good question. I had a lot. This sounds so stupid. I had so much fun watching the start. That incredibly tight. Also, don't spam the chat with the same nonsensical thing over and over again, because I will just mute you, and that means you can never talk forever. Like, I don't know. Say 89 Miami one more time, Joel. I will give you one more time. Why is everyone so surprised about Anstey? Payne, I don't think anybody's that surprised about him. Like, he was an all-star in fantasy for a reason. I guess I'm a little impressed that he's been this consistent. Like, that he was fastest qualifier. He did it every act was consistency. Because I feel like in his career in Supercross, he's had a couple little he couldn't stay healthy. So that's my biggest fear with Anstey, is he's not going to be able to stay healthy. You know what I mean? Broski said, if you could get an autograph by any rider, who would you choose? I mean, I've met so many of them at this point, but it'd be a legend. Like, I would love MC. But for current riders, I mean, really nothing, because I've given away all of my autographs. Everything that I get autographed, I give away. So, but the AC was the one that I had the hardest part giving away, Swank, that'd be cool. Phil, Joey, I actually had a Phil jersey, and I did it, and I gave it away. I gave it away last year. I had the Phil jersey from Detroit, that he wore in Detroit. Sorry, give me 1 second. Dutch said, I love Anstey, great attitude and appreciation. He was one of the nicest guys that I got to talk to last year. So I got to do a couple media days. I went to the race, but I didn't do media day for Detroit, but I had pit access. But I had media day for Indy and St. Louis, and then I went to Denver, but they canceled media day. But all of the people that I got to talk to, Anstey was one of the ones that guy likes to talk, man. He really does. Like, I was asking more or less the same questions to all of the riders, and Anstey, and it wasn't long-winded. Like, I know a lot of people are kind of critical about Marv, how, like, come on, Marv, wrap it up. Like, Anstey's stuff is still interesting. He just kept going and going and going. It was cool. Zafud said, what do we think about Webb? Not great tonight. I just think it's too stacked. I really do. you know, I know that he's obviously not going to be excited about how he rode, but I just can't. He finished behind guys that I think we all think would beat him on any given night. So I'm not mad about it. As long as you keep the mic here, I'll keep talking. Literally, Vic. Literally, yeah. On the flip side, Max Boland was the shortest. Again, I answered this. I asked the same questions to everybody, and Max's was like significantly short. It was really, really, really short. Webb had it easy when he won those championships. Eli was on the Cowie, which we now see as a much worse bike. I don't really. I mean, I don't really agree that it was a much worse bike. I don't think you can really quantify things as like better or worse because it doesn't always work that way. You know what I mean? Um, Sometimes the Cowie might just fit Anderson's style better. Uh, I don't know. Feed Up said, I really thought after the restart, JA would force a pass. I did too. Um, but I don't know. I guess I'm just glad that he didn't. So, AP7 podium next week. I'm not going that far. Randy, are you? Are you in on that? Um, Sorry, I'm getting something pulled up. I'm ready for vacay next month. Puerto Rico, baby. Hey, enjoy that, Dirty Al. Andre said Sexton has improved to be better than Anderson, but not Tomac yet. Yeah, I just, it's going to be so incredibly hard to beat Tomac right now for any of these guys, you know? Um, so we have a giveaway to do. So let me get it pulled up really quick. Normally I would have this ready, but unfortunately I I didn't get it done in time before it started. Nothing on Ferrandis yet, Brian. I probably won't hear anything until the morning. The group chats that I'm in are a little bit more businessy, so like once the race is over, there's not a lot of conversation in there. So I won't expect to hear anything. Who wins 250 MX? Vial, Hunta, or J-Mart? Ooh. Well, that's a great answer. You know what? Give me Vial. I know that Hunter would be mad if I hear that, but it'd be hard to root against that guy. You know what I mean? All of you will be shocked about how good the Triumph is. T-Cross, do you have inside knowledge you want to share with the class? Site is up now. Thank you, Joe. Oh yeah, 198, even worse. I ended up 6,678. Do I still leave the... Nah, JT got me in the admin league. He had a good night, didn't he? Oh my god, JT scored 280. You know what's crazy is that the difference between me and JT's team was literally one rider in each class. And that's the difference between 280 and 198 with all 8 in the main. That's crazy. Oh. All right, so I have for any of you guys that are, who here is part of the Patreon that's here right now? What state, Brian? I'm in Ohio. I'm here. How do we join the Patreon? Dylan, give me 1 second. I'll get you a link for it. So we're giving away a Colt Nichols jersey, which was for the Patreon of last month. So if you joined at any time before January and you had an active subscription through January, here's a link to the Patreon, by the way. Oh, hold on. How do I send it? Can I send it here? Oh no. All right. How about? Can I not send it here? Where do I type it? Rude. I'll just type it. There we go. I type it there. There's the Patreon. Ah, shut up. There's an echo. Anyway, anybody that, I guess I can get it out and show. Anybody that is a member of the Patreon, I'll do a giveaway. And for January, this thing's warm. January, O'Neill hooked me up with a Colt Nichols jersey. So we'll give that one away right now. And then for February, I have another O'Neill special. I haven't been able to go to any races yet to get anything from any of the riders personally, so I kind of have to rely on my sponsors. But the other one is got a Red Bull O'Neill jersey for Marv. So that'll be for February. H&R said, how is it possible for Tomac to ride so fast and limit injuries when the entire sport attrition rate is outstanding? That's a great question, actually. And it's not just a great question because of what you think it is. Like, what is it about certain riders that they can go their whole career without putting it too far over the line? You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at, is it doesn't always work out that way. But yeah, he has an uncanny ability to do it. Retired Marv, maybe. That's the thing, is I actually haven't heard anything about Marv and how he might be doing, or when they're gonna bring him back, or if they're gonna bring him back at all. So would be a real shame. All right. And if I do that one, I'll scoot over. But that way we do it fair. We do it live. We do it fair. I got everybody's names typed in here. And then I should be able to just hit go. And whatever name is left at the end will be who wins the Colt Nichols jersey. So Brian, yes, Malcolm is confirmed out for the entire season. I heard an ACL injury. That was before they announced it officially. I heard that it was an ACL injury, which obviously would be a pretty big deal. Then when they did come out, they said confirmed knee, but all they said was knee. You know what I mean? So Joey said, bro, Marv been out and nobody said nothing. You should forget about him, right? Muppet said Baggett should go in Bubba's World. We all are in suspense. I don't think, it's really sad that we might get nothing. You know, we might never get nothing out of Baggett. Maybe he'll run it like this, and then at the last minute he'll give us something. Because I mean, we had what? We had no Stu sightings. Was it 4 or 5 years with nothing Stu coming up at all? So maybe that'll happen. Isn't Malcolm's contract up this year? Ronald, I want to say a lot of people. I want to say this is a year where almost all of the contracts are up. It's definitely going to be a wild, different year next year. Motocross as well. Brian, that wasn't confirmed. All that was confirmed was that Malcolm would definitely miss Supercross. But I wouldn't be surprised. It's really going to be up to Malcolm and the team, I think. If the team wants him back, they could use that as leverage of like, hey, if you get well and ride as many races as you can for us outdoors, we'll bring you back. But if it's another scenario where if the team isn't going to bring Malcolm back at all, then he might not have a lot of incentive to like rush his training back to then just do 2 or 3 rounds for the team. So I don't know. Vic said, Roto, when will you be considered fantasy expert? When I get paid like one. I don't get paid like those guys. So I gotta wait a little bit. I gotta wait for it. You know what I mean? Dirty Al said AP to Phoenix. You know what? That wouldn't be... Well, not Phoenix. You know what? Okay, here's a question for you guys. Do you think that we're gonna have with HEP, Firepower Honda, and a few other teams being run in Supercross and also in World Supercross, do you think that's gonna make those teams more appealing to those guys? Like maybe that was a big factor for Kenny. Kenny could, if he wanted to, race Supercross and World Supercross and not have to do outdoors. And with Firepower Honda, it's going to be exclusively Supercross if they wanted to. So it'd be interesting. I could see a guy like AP maybe taking one of those smaller teams because they're literally doing different series. You know what I mean? Randy asks, you think JS17 is going to get picked up anytime soon? Yeah, I think we need one more guy to get hurt for him to get picked up. I know for a fact that Rick Ware Racing is paying the tab for him through Daytona. After Daytona, I think that he's not planning on racing if he doesn't get picked up. So hopefully he'll be the first one off the list. You know what I mean? Darkside Rob said Malcolm will retire soon. He is good, but his heart isn't right. To be fair, all of these guys are retiring soon. If I'm being honest, Robin, obviously I mean no disrespect when I say this, but like if you think any of those guys are racing in 4 years, like that's ridiculous. In 4 years, I would be shocked to see any of these guys. Tomac is gone, obviously. Anderson's gone. Malcolm's gone. Roxon's gone. Like Marv is gone. Craig is gone. It's going to be a completely different series in 3 or 4 years. We're going to be out on like all of them, you know what I mean? Just Chase and Lawrence. Yeah, probably. L Racer said K-Team is a great company for AP. I agree. He'll probably do GNCCs. Yep. Go to Vital. Joe, what do you mean? Dylan said Sexton is going to be around in 4. Oh, Sexton will. Yeah, Sexton will. Sexton is going to be... I mean, I could see AC and Savachi being the older guys, but I think Sexton is going to be more like the prime year, because he'll be 27 in 4 years. But hey, I mean, a lot of the greats required like 27, 28. Did Wamba win the jersey? Michael, I'm going to zoom in on this so that y'all can see. Scott, is there a Scott McDonough? McDonough? I was going to say McDonough. I don't know why. In the chat. Either way, Scott, you won the jersey. I'll reach out to you via either Discord or Patreon. I have the email into Discord if you have one. So I will do that. Shout out to Scott. Let me screenshot that for my records. That was my computer, not yours. Boom. All right, cool. T-Cross said Rockstar should get Ryan Brees. Brees is injured too. He's actually out for the whole year. Drew said the transition of stars that happens every 10 years or so saddens me. It's hard. The thing that's weird, I don't know if I have any team sport people in chat, but it's weird because in in baseball and football and basketball, players change teams so much that you never get too attached to them, because today they're probably going to leave your city. They're going to leave your team as soon as they can. But in racing, we don't really have team allegiances like that. Like I don't root for Star Racing Yamaha, and anybody that comes on, they become my guy. And if they leave, they go somewhere else. I don't do that. I don't know if any of you do, but I feel like that's not very common. So it's just, we actually get a lot of life out of the riders. We can watch them for a decade. They're definitely gonna still be there. You know what I mean? Ronald said JS17 back to the 250s. He actually cannot go back. He tweeted about that. He pointed out by the old rules, and there is no takebacks. If you pointed out under the old rules, you are still pointed out here. Like Dark said, oh, I got you, Joe. Joe, I would love to have a conversation with the Vital guys about it, but I do contract work for Pulp. I do contract work for Racer X. I obviously do the fantasy stuff. So I would love to go full time. So if anybody out there is listening and you wanna talk about it, I would love to do that. But for right now, I am comfortable. I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing, you know. Darkside asks, was Honda dropping Kenny Smart? Yeah, again, Rob, they are committed to Jet Lawrence on a 450 outdoors. And if Kenny carried a little too much baggage or price for what they were expecting from him for just one 450 Supercross season left, I don't blame them for finding another way to go somewhere else. Muppet said, "Can we get more Brock Glover stories?" I'll tell you. I mean, I met Brock Glover. He was actually one of the first people I met on my very first press experience. I met him in the elevator to go up, and he complimented my shoes. We just had a brief little conversation, but it just goes to show you that, like, he's such a nice guy. He'll talk with anybody. So good guy for sure. Ataki said, what was up with Justin Hill? So he definitely wrecked early, or he could have had a mechanical, I'm not sure, but he fell through the pack fast. And I imagine he was just rolling around out there hoping that there'd be some other DNFs and get points. I don't know if maybe Justin has a deal. And that's the thing, I wish that we had deals. We knew about the riders' deals. I want that a little bit more transparent. Because what if Justin specifically gets bonuses for getting top 18? Or for making X main events, or for not DNFing, or you know what I mean? Like, we don't know what are in these guys' contracts and what motivates them. Like, for example, I know that privateers get a humongous bonus for getting top 15. So if you see a Cade, a Starling, a Moran's in 16th place, they are absolutely going to go and get that guy. They want him. Dylan said, we want to know the rider's salary. Yeah, and it's not even, I don't even care about how much money, just what are their incentives. You know what I mean? Spasm asked, what team puts the money up to take Hunter from Honda eventually? It has to be Star. Yes, Spasm. Because if you think about it, if Honda's only going to have 2 450 riders, then they're going to keep Sexton, a guy that almost won the outdoor title and is currently second indoors. And then you obviously have Jet. You're probably, where does Hunter end up? You know what? I think you put Hunter on Kawasaki. Tomac retires. You already have Justin Cooper, who looked incredible in his first race ever. You could keep that, but you also have guys that are about to be coming up soon. Like Star is always pumping out 250 guys. But Jason Anderson is probably the next to retire. Things are changing in his life. He's getting married. He's having kids, whatever. I feel like he's ready to move on. So I think he could be the next one out, and you could put him over there. But you also got to remember, like, Barsha, how many more years does Barsha have? That Gas seat opens up real quick. I bet Gas would love. No, but he has a personal Alpine Star deal, and he would never go to Troy Lee. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Monster Kawasaki for sure. I'm with Tim. Bloss is never a good pick. As much as I want to have him because it's a tasty pick, cannot do it. Toe said Hunter will beat Jetson. I'm in for that challenge. I'm in for that. Ronald said Jason Anderson says he wants to race as long as he can. For sure, but things change quickly, man. Because what else am I going to do? That's something that's what you say though, Andre, when you aren't married with a kid. Because he got married and had a kid quickly, like in a short window of time. So I feel like the Jason we know now and the one we knew not that long ago have definitely have different priorities, I would say. Tyler said, if Hunter goes to Cowie, no, because Jason Anderson wears Alpine Stars. Pro Circuit has a Fox deal, but Monster does not. Aaron said, I see Ferrandis going KTM, Chase goes Star, and Jet takes Chase's spot. It's so wild. Do you guys have this, but maybe it's real or not? I feel like when I was a kid, riders they stayed on the same teams longer. And it just feels like now that doesn't exist, but I feel like that's not true because I remember a lot of guys racing a lot of bikes. Jeremy McGrath raced 3 bikes in 3 years. You know what I mean? Stu raced on 3 manufacturers in a short amount of time, but it feels like this is a newer thing and it's not, you know? Shorter, maybe that's it, Payne. Maybe it's shorter contracts, you know what I mean? Racer said Honda's not going to let go of the Lawrences, having Honda first and second most of the time. Yeah, I don't know, though. The thing is that do you think Hunter and Jet are going to want to be teammates forever? I feel like at some point that would become, like, you'd have to have a really secure relationship with, I mean, whatever, anybody you know, to be attached at the hip like them, even as an adult. I think it would be better in the sport for them to become rivals instead of teammates. I really do. Aaron said, I say Chase going Star for his Monster sponsorship. Yeah, I agree. I feel that. Andre said, is it possible the Webb goes to Honda? I don't see why not. I don't know. I just think that Webb, Honda, where does Honda put him? If I'm Honda and I lose Sexton, I'm just taking Hunter because I already have Hunter than trying to go out and get somebody else. So, yeah, I don't know. Jacob said, do you think Jet realistically challenges Chase for the title next year? I don't know. I don't even know if Jet wins a race next year. That's a lot to ask for. It's been a long time since we've had a rookie winner. When was the last time we had a true rookie 450 winner? Actually, that's a good question because Sexton didn't get it. It took him 2 years. It took Webb 3 years. AC was real close, but he didn't get it. I don't even know. I was going to say, was it all the way back there, Al? Because I'm like, surely somebody has done it since then. Roxon? Did Roxon win? To be fair, Roxon might have been one of those dumb ones where he raced a race or two, and then it's hard to say what is your first year. Yeah, Cacti, I was going to say Roxon won his first A1, but he had already done like a good amount of races before. I don't know how it was. But yeah, I don't expect Jet to win races next year. I wouldn't be shocked if he does, but I think that's a big ask. Ben said Roxon had Suzuki dropped just a teal. That's actually not true, Ben. Long story short, what it is with Roxon, why Roxon is on a progressive bike and why the rest of the team is on the Twisted T is that they already had their budget set over at HEP Suzuki, so like this was the amount of money that they're going to have or whatever. When they had the chance to go get Ken Roxon, Twisted T didn't really, and I'm not saying they didn't offer anymore. Twisted T wasn't able to front that bill to bring in Ken. It was actually Progressive. Progressive was the company that stepped up and said, here's the money you need to do that. So that's why their name is on Ken's, because they specifically stepped up to like get that deal done. So Spasm said, Jet will ride the 450 class his rookie year like he does Triple Crowns. On edge, I'm saying, yeah. And that's normal. Like, sure, Justin Cooper looked incredible tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if next week we see Justin Cooper and he's erratic and he wrecks one like 2 or 3 times. I wouldn't be surprised at all. You know what I mean? Barsha won his first race. I thought it's possible. It's possible. I don't remember that, but it's possible. My memory of that era is very messy. I was so busy and I wasn't really following it. Like I was watching it but not following it like I do now. So from like I don't even know 2012, 2011 to like 2015 is like one of my weaker memory things. Toasting your $5 super chat. I really appreciate you. You said, "Did you look over the Daytona track map?" I mean, yeah, I was like, yep, I've seen this before. I actually know that track map very well because I made a couple videos about some of the incidents on it, but they could have at least flipped it. They should have, like, you know what I mean, mirror it, because the infield of Daytona is more or less parallel. So at least if you mirror it, we might not have noticed for a little bit, you know? Ben said outdoor guys always do well. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I bet Deegan does really well. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see. Why is it, Max? So I don't know specifically why it is, but I will say this has been talked about recently, and I think that it might have came up on the Pulp Show. I don't remember, but Daytona has like installed so many sprinklers and this and that, and like they used to be allowed to go on the pit like lane and up onto the track, and now they're being more restrictive about specifically where you can build the track. So they have a lot less flexibility of the shape of it. And there's just only so many ways you can really make that awkward, long shape things. And I'm not saying that, I'm not giving them an excuse for doing it because what they did is lazy, but maybe they're just like, look, man, if we can't do anything fun, who cares? Just do whatever, you know? Feed Up said, don't forget, we get a few new factory teams in sports. Hopefully, and I hope they stay. No, Fabio, it's almost exactly the same as last year's. The only difference I saw was there was like one obstacle by the over-under bridge. And at one point, there's dark dirt in a section, and the other part, it's light dirt. So, like, it just has different soil, apparently. Allstroke said, Hunter won't stay at Honda. His Red Bull contract will work out. A deal for him to be on KTM. You know what? I think that'd be great. Especially Strokes, if KTM ends up losing Webb, why not Hunter? Who would you rather have? Tyler said, if Deegan stays healthy, is he a top 5 points guy this year? Yeah, Tyler, I'll give you that. I will put a little asterisk on it. I'm gonna give you that because if you're implying that he stays healthy the whole year, only 7 guys did that in both coasts. So you can get that we're gonna lose, you know, we're gonna have 3, maybe 4 at most that ride every race. So by just simple attrition, he should get the points. Toast said, is it really only Ricky Carmichael's design? I don't know. I don't know if he does all of the thing or if he has a team of people to work on it. RC only rides adventure bikes now. Oh God, yeah. But I'm gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you guys for coming out and doing this with me. It's an hour. I'm tired, so I appreciate you guys watching. I will see you next week. Obviously, keep your eyes on Racer X. Keep your eyes on PulpMX. Keep your eyes on this channel. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Like it. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Don't forget, if you want to support so that I can keep doing these. I don't have a sponsor for these. I don't make any, like, I don't get any kind of compensation for it. So if you want to support on the Patreon, you want to get a sweet O'Neal Red Bull jersey, please do. I really, really, really appreciate it. But take care, everybody. Have a great night and have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.